Riots, protests and rebellion. Images that were becoming far too common on the streets of the UK, and something had to be done. It's 1 year on now since the government merged the roles of each police authority into a sole body, the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner. This role was introduced in hope of restoring public confidence in policing.
It hasn't been difficult, but it hasn't been easy. It's been a challenge.
That challenge started over 12 months ago, as first the Police and Crime Commissioners had to be elected.
Michael Mates, thank you very much. Next we come to Simon Hayes, who's an independent candidate.
Thank you. Yes, my name is Simon Hayes. I'm the independent candidate standing at this election.
Winning from a 15% turnout, Simon Hayes was elected and set about his first task of appointing a new Chief Constable and setting the strict guidelines for him to follow.
We're already a good organisation. I want to move it to a great one. We won't do that unless people push us really hard. The Commissioner will push me, the public will push him.
That is my purpose in life for Police and Crime Commissioner, is to challenge the Chief Constable in all aspects of policing across Hampshire and the Islands. I am in effect the voice of the public as a whole.
As the voice of the public, Simon Hayes was tasked with holding the police force to account. This meant outlining the police budget and focusing resources in problem areas. He did this with his launch of a police and crime plan.
Very well. I mean, we've got over 70 people here, all from the wider community of Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, and all who are partners that we'd like to work with in the future to achieve the objectives in the plan.
The plan is good, it's very visual, there's a lot of detail behind it, but the real test is the delivery.
With his base set out, Simon Hayes focused on increasing partner involvement in such issues as domestic abuse, mental health and antisocial behaviour. During the summer of 2013, he was investigated by the IPCC in reference to a complaint towards his election details.
It was a complaint made against me by the candidate that came second in the election last year. Motivation for making that complaint, people will make their own judgment upon that. The important thing is that it was investigated properly and thoroughly and there were no grounds.
Having dismissed any concerns, it was time for Mr Hayes to make some probes of his own, questioning Chief Constable Andy Marsh at bi-monthly meetings. The first to be broadcast focused on nighttime policing, but also talked of a rise in sex offences.
Point out that serious sexual offences, which includes rape, has increased 20% in the year to date. And actually, I would say that there's a few
On a whole, though, the Constabulary reported a 20% reduction in crime for the year, ticking off one of the Crime Commissioner's goals. This, however, did not stop the role from being heavily criticised. In response to negative comments, Home Secretary Theresa May has admitted problems with the model, with one Police and Crime Commissioner speaking out against the benefits of the role.
I would think on the whole things we've seen a slight movement backwards in terms of key achievements of the role.
Bob Jones's school report analysis has labelled a few key problems with the current system. He gives a 3 out of 10 for reducing crime, a low 2 out of 10 for public confidence, and overall he gives a 4 out of 10, stating that £100 million has been spent on making the police force less accountable.
Bob, he's a lovely old duck. He's been around the pond several times, but he's never thought that the Police and Crime Commissioners is the right way to go. I think now he's in a majority of one, but he's making his views heard, which is fine. I don't agree with him.
Keen to show that the role of Police and Crime Commissioner is working in Hampshire, Simon Hayes has appointed a deputy, who will be aiding him in working with partners to meet requirements set out in his Police and Crime plan.
Hampshire and the Isle of Wight is a large geographic area for Simon, one individual to cover. The appointment of me as his deputy enables us to double up in terms of representational duties, to get out there, get the public to understand what this new role is all about.
It's been a full year since Simon Hayes was elected and the role of the Police and Crime Commissioner introduced. Whether or not you know who they are or what it is they do, Police and Crime Commissioners are here to stay. Matt Spencer, Winchester News Online, Winchester.